Hello and welcome back to the Battle Room. I'm, of course, the Battle Room. And today I'm joined by no one, except for the teams from the most recent regional. So this one took place in Lille, France. Lille. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. But either way, it took place in France. It was a European regional. And what's really interesting about this regional is that next weekend, there is another European regional. So they have back-to-back regionals. I'm very curious to see how much the teams will change. Obviously, players are very talented. They can pick up something in between weeks. It's not a huge deal, but it is still like a lot less prep than they're probably used to. And I feel like for most players, they're probably going to run that stuff directly back, right? Like, if I had two regionals back-to-back like that, I definitely would. So I'm very curious how Gdansk is going to go. But that's going to be next weekend. This weekend, we got Lille. So let's look at the teams at Top Cut. It was kind of a smaller Top Cut. It was a very weird regional. It seemed like there was a lot of disconnection issues. They apparently played 10 rounds in day one so they could stream all of Top 8, which I think is kind of neat in terms of like we got a lot more matches streamed, but it was probably really terrible for the players. So let's take a look here. First things first, this is going to be number 13th. We got Livio Sandberg, roughly. Right off the bat, okay, this team's cool, this team's good. I'm using a different website, by the way. I'm just using Pokedata. I'll link it down below, obviously, but the other sites that I usually use to look at the teams are down, so it's a little bit different. But first, right off the bat, we have that very standard core, right? I like the way they have this. It's really nice. So we got the Blood Moon with Yawn. We know it by now. It's so broken. It's so good. Then we got the Ninetales with the Blizzard Encore set. Aurora Veil this time. And then we have Incin and Rillaboom, obviously amazing partners for all this. But normally where we'd see Dondozo and Sneasler, we instead see Volcarona and Basculegion. And we are seeing this Grassy Seed Volcarona set, which I think is starting to pick up a little bit of popularity. I think it's really, really good. It's a very strong set. It pairs incredibly well with both Intimidate and Grassy Terrain, right? Because you basically get lefties and you get the +1 defense. And then you have Intimidate to even further bring down threats to the Volcarona, right? You just don't really care about the Acrobatic Sneasler set. You just set up for days. You hit them with Terra Fairy, boosted Terra Blast, which again, there's not really much fairy coverage in the format right now. There's not a lot of fairy types, and even the ones that are fairy types aren't running the fairy moves. So Terra Blast is sick. But then you also have fire coverage with fairy. Fire Fairy is just ridiculous. It's very strong. Hits basically everything. So yeah, you're outside of other fire types, which can come up, can be important. But most of the fire types are in Sonora, so usually it's fine. But yeah, I think this team is really, really good. I like the way, I'm not used to seeing the Basculegion there, but Basculegion is fine, it's strong. I'm down for it. I think Volcarona is very well positioned right now. I think Volcarona is very good, and I think next weekend, I think we'll see more of this. It seems very European-esque. We saw a lot of this team throughout the tournament, but I do think this one specifically is very, very strong as well. I like the core 5, and I think Basculegion is cool too. Usually there's still a Sneasler, but I think I've seen the Basculegion version a little bit. But yeah, either way, great team. Gives you a lot of options, right? Tons of fake out, tons of support, and just like really strong hitters with this Basculegion and even the Volk once it gets going. Very setup focused. All right. Next up is just going to be the Marco Sun team. So I'm looking for any changes here. Citrus Berry, Terra Water I think is different. Yeah, it's definitely different. I think it was usually Terra Ghost, Sleep Powder, Sunny Day Encore, Spec Zard, and Backtrack Pack Torkoal. Not too much to say about this one. I'm kind of surprised it cut though. We haven't seen it do really well lately. So I am a little bit surprised that we're seeing it in the Top Cut here. But either way, I still think it's a really, really solid team, right? Like, you have P2, you have Ursaluna, you have Incin, an amazing core, and then you have this really obnoxious Sun mode that kind of clashes directly with the other one, like, in terms of, like, when you see it in team preview. So you see those three, the answers are usually different for the Sun 3, right? So it works out really, really well. Torkoal bridges both together perfectly. It's honestly just such a beautiful and strong team. It relies a little bit on hitting Sleep Powder, but even then, like, sometimes just setting up Tailwind and just letting the bear sweep and Tailwind is really broken. And then you have the Trick Room Bear. It's very similar to the Kilowattrel team that I actually ran at the last regional. And I think it's kind of the same function. I just think the bear is really, really good right now. And having that tail room mode just makes it absolutely nuts. I did kind of think, I was joking about it with my friends. I was like, dude, is the pendulum swinging and it's time to run Marco Sun? Clearly, it kind of was because Sebastian did really, really well with it. All right, next up is going to be... Okay, so this is like... I don't remember who popularized it or where it came from, but this is a pretty standard 6 that we've seen before. the idea is there's no mouse, but instead you're able to proc Rage Fist with the Alolan Ninetales. So like, I think of it as like, it's not Mouse-ape, but like, it's Mouse-ape in spirit, right? Instead of Friend Guard, I have Aurora Veil. Instead of Beat Up, I have Icicle Spear, right? And obviously Icicle Spear can be a little bit inconsistent, but for the most part, it's pretty strong. And then you also can just set up those Aurora Veils, start setting up the bulk ups and just going nuts with Ape. I think this is a very strong team. I don't think we saw a lot of it. I might be wrong. I don't think we saw a lot at Frankfurt, the first European regional of the year. I think it was Frankfurt. And then I didn't see a lot of it at Milwaukee either. Mouse-ape did do well, but not this version of Ape. But I think this team is really strong. It's really obnoxious. You just kind of have all the best Pokemon. Also, Icy Wind is really, really good, pairing with Ursaluna, pairing with Goldengo, even Dragonite. Like, I think these 6 make a ton of sense. You're just basically using some of the best Pokemon in the game, and I don't think this team aged poorly at all. I think it's still very, very strong. You have to respect the Ninetales just blasting the Ape turn 1 with the Spears. You have to respect Icy Wind and Aurora Veil. I just think it's a good team. Obviously, I'm focusing on these two a lot, but pairing it with Goldie is really amazing as well. Goldie can set up. You have Fake Out support, and then you also have this Dragonite that's still sticking around. I think it's just a really, really good team. It's just kind of like, I feel like it fell off a little bit because the LIIL team has a lot of similar pieces, but it's just kind of more consistent, and people like the Sneasler and Incineroar more than Dragonite Annihilape. So I think the onset's also very good. But yeah, it's just kind of a different flavor. Next up here, I have Marcus Coe with okay, we've got Indeedee Sneasler. I haven't seen this in a while. I feel like Indeedee Sneasler has fallen off quite a bit. Rillaboom really started to rise in usage, which kind of deterred it a little bit. But then Rillaboom's usage, I feel like, has gone down as Regulation H has played out a little bit. Obviously, still fantastic. So I feel like Indeedee Sneasler just never bounced back. And it's just been kind of sitting there, just like suffering. So, yeah, I'm excited. It's kind of cool to see it here. Otherwise, it's just a classic 2-2-2 team, right? You have Indeedee Sneasler, you have the Ursaluna and Talonflame, which can be led, can be brought in the back. Okay, it's just full special Talonflame. That's kind of nuts. Yeah, it's got Air/Overheat, so that's fun. But yeah, you can just spam the Blood Moon, you spam the Talonflame, you soften things up, or you just lead Indeedee Sneasler, soften them up once again, and then you just go crazy with Toedscruel and Dondozo. So, a really cool tech option here is that Fake Out on Indeedee. I think I've played this 6 before on ladder, because if you do lead Rillaboom into this, Rillaboom actually feels really terrible because they do have that Fake Out option, so they can just Fake Out and then Sneasler can get going. It's honestly just so sick. It's actually really obnoxious if you do lead Rillaboom into it. Even though leading Rillaboom feels good, you can get kind of caught off guard by the Fake Out. Even though it's on the sheet, it's still like actually kind of strong and annoying to deal with because that Pokemon really just needs one move, and that's Expanding Force. Otherwise, yeah, everything else is pretty standard, normal stuff. I think Dondozo in this format, he's gotten a little bit better because the Haze Dragonite stuff has died down quite a bit. So I think Dondozo is actually kind of playable now. And yeah, it's not fun, but he is playable. I don't really like Dondozo. I think he's boring. Next up, we have Frederico. Obviously, Fedicampo, so good. I feel like he is just truly one of the best Ursaluna players in the world. So, I mean, that's not a crazy thing to say. He's amazing with his Pokemon. This Pokemon is very good in this format. It makes sense we're seeing it here. I like the choice, though. I think the Elizabeth Rain team, I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of it. I've never been a fan of it personally. I've tried it a couple times. Never a huge fan. I like this version a little bit more. I like the Basculegion. I think he adds a much needed like oomph. I think the Scarf Golden Go on Elizabeth is very strong, but having this Choice Banded Basculegion just means lots of damage. Easy pivots into your bear. Yeah, I think Basculegion is just a strong Pokemon. He is just a nightmare. Like, genuinely practice against this Pokemon feels horrible. Like, whenever I play against this guy, I'm like, dude, I fucking hate this guy. What's really interesting here, though, is it's actually Wide Guard Pelly with Terra Normal. Holy shit. That's actually crazy. Because normally you see Tailwind. I believe Daniel Yu ran this. I think he ran the same 6 at the first American Regional of the season. But he had Tailwind, and I thought it was, oh, it's like a Tail Room team once again with the Ursaluna, which makes a lot of sense. But there's not even Tailwind on Pelipper. This is just like a Ursaluna's just good. It's just on the team. And, I mean, it has good options. Parting Shot and Flip Turn makes sense, but it's still kind of funny. I don't know what the Terra Normal's for. I guess Shadow Ball? Oh, Shadow Ball. Duh. It walls Goldie completely. That's hilarious. Oh, if you pair Pelipper next to Ursaluna, that's so funny. That's so funny. What? You just wall Golden Go with Wide Guard plus double normal types. That's sick. That's sick. otherwise, yeah, I think a lot of this stuff is pretty good. Nothing too crazy. I'm not seeing any other standout moves or Terras. Terra fighting Ursaluna is still good. I like this team a lot, though. I feel like it is very much like that continuation of the idea of the Golden Go and Dragonite version of this team, but instead having a much stronger Basculegion and then having Incineroar, because Incineroar is just really, really good. So I think this team makes a lot of sense. I think it's very good. Makes sense that Fettig was able to pilot it to a 9th place finish. Next up here, we have the spiritual successor to the Wolf Toedscruel team. I feel like this team has been around for a little bit. I think Wolf just had Pawmot. I think he still had Kilowattrel. I'm not really sure. But either way, I think this is a team that, like, these 6 have been pretty solid, pretty good. I've definitely seen it around a little bit. But I think this team is pretty good. I think Toedscruel Weezing is actually pretty annoying and pretty strong. I remember when I was practicing for my regional, I was using like P2 Ursaluna stuff. And when I'd play into this, I'm like, dude, I'm not worried about it because I don't think many people are using it. But I think it's legitimately like really annoying. I think Toedscruel is a really, really fast Spore paired with the Weezing, and it's actually really obnoxious to deal with. And Typhlosion is in like a pretty good spot. So when I played against this team, I was like, holy shit, this thing is kind of annoying. So it kind of makes sense. Like, I do think that the ideas of the Wolf team are really, really strong. I think that maybe like Pawmot is not the greatest, but like I think replacing with Incineroar makes a lot of sense. And I think having I think Disquake's good. I think it's just really annoying. I think a lot of the Pokemon are just really annoying to deal with, and you kind of have to play in such a specific way versus the team that can be kind of telegraphed sometimes. And I think this team is just pretty solid. I think Weezing Toedscruel is I might be a little bit underexplored. I'll say it. Next up here is, I believe, the only French player who the player who was he the only French player in CUT? I think he was. That's actually nuts. But either way, this is the team I know and I love. This team, I think, is pretty solid. It has some glaring weaknesses, specifically Kingambit plus Electabuzz. But outside of that, it's really, really strong right now. And I think Kingambit, Electabuzz, like Rilla, that's like the 3 it struggles with the most. It's not really there. We're not seeing it, like, from a quick glance. Like, if we just scroll down, I'm not even seeing, like, there's a Kingambit, but, like, he's just not very popular. There's one. But yeah, like, there just aren't a lot at the top tables. Yeah, I'm not seeing any. So getting rid of those Kingambits, I think, makes the team quite strong. And I think that he didn't have to do anything to get rid of them. They just disappeared from the format. So I think overall this team is really, really solid. I actually made a YouTube video about it because I think we used this team first. I'm not even sure. Not that it really matters. But I do remember using this at Toronto. We went pretty decently deep. And it felt pretty good. I think it has a lot of good Pokemon on it. Tyranitar Garchomp. Tyranitar is very, very good. I think Tyranitar pairs incredibly well with Kilowattrel. It pairs well with Goldie. He just provides a lot of utility. He's really difficult to kill in this format. Garchomp's okay. He's okay. I'm not going to die by Garchomp. But then you have Incinemungus Goldie, which is like some of the best. It's just godlike, right? And we see that Ursaluna team with P2 Ursaluna over the top 2 is quite popular. That's the one I ended up using at Milwaukee. But that team did pretty well. We saw a couple down here when we were scrolling around. And I think it's still pretty solid. And I think that this version of the team is just kind of a more aggressive, fast version. But it follows the same principles, right? Like, you can set up with Golden Go. Back Tailwind is really, really effective. Or you just sweep with the sand guys and you just go kind of nuts. So I think this team is really, really good. I'm a huge fan of it. It's cool to see it do so well and go so deep. Next up is the same team that we talked about a little bit, but a little different, actually. Oh, very different. It's got 5 of the same Pokemon, but instead of that, what was it? Basculegion? No, not Basculegion. What am I saying? Instead of D-Knight, it has Mousehole. So it's a little bit more of that traditional Mouse-ape stuff, but it's really just Ninetales over Dragonite. Yeah, on the original version as well. So it's Mouse over Dragonite and then Ninetales over Dragonite on the 2 different versions. Anyways. I think this team is really solid. I think it's pretty cool. I like that Ninetales paired with the Goldie, paired with the Annihilape. Obviously, it does not have beat up this time, but I remember watching one of the stream matches, and the way it plays out is kind of interesting because you're able to set up a Roarveil early, set up a bulk up. This guy goes down because it's Ninetales, and then this guy can come in, and now you have Mouse-ape with an Roarveil. Absolutely nuts. Really scary to deal with, and I think it's a kind of a cool concept, right? Or you have Goldie paired with Mousehole, you set up, and then boom, Ninetales comes in, and now I have speed control with Icy Wind. There's a lot of ways you can play it out. It's got a lot of the good Pokemon. I think it's a pretty strong team. I think this one's pretty cool. It's a little bit different take, and Mouse-ape, like, I feel like had a bad 2 to 3 events. Like, not even, dude. It was still getting like top 4 at every one, but No, it didn't. It really didn't. Mouse-ape is just good in this format. I don't know. It's just such a strong, potent combo. Makes a lot of sense here. It's a little bit different take, right? Because now you're dealing with that Aurora Veil, as I mentioned. Ursaluna Blood Moon had a really good tournament with AV. I thought the AV set was kind of meh, but really popping off here. Next up is Javier's team. Is this that same team? It is. It's just in a different order. Yeah, okay. So it's the same team I talked about. But once again, I think that... Oh, this one's Covert Cloak, though. It's not Grassy Seed. Okay. So this is just another take on it. This is just like a team. I think the person who won there was a Latin American regional the same weekend as Milwaukee, and I believe 5 of these Pokemon won. I don't know if Basculegion was on it. Now I'm second guessing myself. But either way, I think this 6 is really strong. Once again, you have double Fake Out to set up your Volcarona. This Blood Moon set is like tearing up the format lately. And then you just have this really strong hard hitter in Basculegion, and then you have Ninetales to help facilitate everybody else, whether with Aurora Veil, maybe getting a cheeky freeze, or just pressing Encore. Ninetales is just in a really, really good spot. Ninetales is just looking incredible lately. I think this is finally the Ninetales regional. I think Ninetales is finally on top. We're seeing a decent amount of them. Yeah, nice. Go Ninetales. Next, okay, this team was crazy. When I saw this team, I was like, Weavile Dozo? Weavile Dozo, but to be fair, I think Europe has a lot of Dozo players. They really do. Like, Dozo, you have to respect here. And I swear it's just a different one every time. Like, I'll just be scrolling the standings. I'm like, oh, it's Jay's time this time, right? And I was watching the stream, and they're like, yeah, Jay, this is his first day too. And he's in top 4 of the tournament, right, with Dozo. And I feel like there's just a lot of people like Dozo in Europe. I don't really get it. I just don't think Dozo's fun, but more power to you if you're a Dozo player. I think this team is kind of cool, though. I think dealing with Pelipper plus Dozo is really, really obnoxious. And then, like you kind of have a bunch of annoying shit, right? You have Pelipper Argaludon, you have to annoy. It's annoying, hard to deal with. The rain is cool for Dozo, too, because he actually just hits like a bomb with Wave Crash. But then you also have this beat-up triple axle fake-out set from Weavile to help enable Ape as well. So now you got to deal with Ape Weavile, which, I mean, I'm personally not prepared for. Knockoff's cool. And then there's just a Scarf Pelipper too, that you could just play aggressive with Pelipper Weavile as well. It's just such a weird team. I don't have much to say about this one. This one's weird as shit, but it did well. It did well. Dondozo is like, again, like Haze Dragonite is just slowly going down. We saw a decent amount of Dragonites though, more than I expect. I thought Dragonite wasn't a hard downswing, but he's still solid. And I think having that Haze is such a big deal with the to hold Dozo back. But since there's less and less Haze, Dozo, he's sneaking up there. I think this was a good Dozo regional. I think the Dozo players had a really good call. Because Dozo kind of shined. But the thing about Dozo, sometimes I feel like good players still just navigate around Dozo even if they don't have the best matchup. So I think we saw that a little bit with Marco Fiero playing this matchup in top 4. I just kind of felt like he knew what to do even though his Dozo matchup wasn't like, he didn't have just Haze or Clear Smog, right? Next up is Giuseppe. Honestly, this dude has just been popping off. He has tons of good tournaments. I feel like he's always so close to winning an event, but he's just always in that top 16, always in that top cut range. He top cut Worlds. Yeah, so he's had really, really good season. Team is nothing crazy, right? It's just the normal team, but opting actually to put Dragonite back on, which is kind of funny because I thought Dragonite was not the greatest. He's not the greatest spot. He's still annoying, but he's not in the greatest spot. But opting to put Dragonite back on, with the classic set, I think it makes sense on this team. I think the Ninetales slot can be switched around. I do think a lot of the other sets are just so good though. Like having that Yawn Blood Moon, so good. The Golden Go obviously paired with the Fake Out Brothers is amazing. The Fake Out Brothers with Sneasler is good. And then D-Knight just kind of rounds it out. I think D-Knight's pretty good. I think it matches up well in the Mouse-ape. It's just kind of annoying Pokemon. It gives you that speed control that you kind of desire sometimes with the Tailwind. Scale Shot's a nuke. Like, I respect Dragonite on the team. He is very, very strong. I just think Ninetales is really good too, so it's just that usually these teams just need that fairy type there, and I think that's where Ninetales is really, really good, because the enemy D-Knight can be kind of annoying, but the Grassy Seed things are pair as well. You have Instant, there's ways to play around it, but yeah, I just think this is like a really strong, good setup Pokemon with a really strong player, so it makes sense to me. I think the D-Knight's cool, like you can slot that on there. It's like nothing too revolutionary. And then in second place, we have Edu. With kind of a crazy team once again. They just keep swapping out the Ninetales, really. Like, they're just like, hey, those 5 are so good. Like, they're just the 5 best Pokemon in the format. I really think they are. Just Golden Go, Fake Out Brothers, Sneasler, and Ursaluna. They're just the best Pokemon in the format. So you can literally put anything there, Dragonite was there on the other team, and on this team, it's Smeargle with Tailwind. Tailwind Smeargle's nuts. It's kind of cool though, right? Like, because you help bump Goldie up a little bit. He gets a little bit more speed. He enables Ursaluna, and also Eddie opted to run Calm Mind, which pretty bold because I do think like the Yawn version is very, very good into the Calm Mind version, but Edu has a ton of other options as well, right? He's got the Fake Out Brothers. He also importantly does have his own Smeargle, which I think can help a ton versus Yawn Bloodman, right? Like, you're fast in it, you can Spore it, you can Fake it out. It just can't really be led into you as easily because Smeargle is such a potent threat. So I think it's cool. Also, you don't have to set up in front of Yawn Blood Moon, but I think Yawn Blood Moon is just so good. But Calm Mind is cool too. Calm Mind is like a little bit, it's not too crazy because we have seen it before, but it usually just doesn't go as deep. So it's finally Blood Moon Ursaluna's time to Calm Mind its way to the top. Usually, I feel like it's a top 16 type of set, but Eddie was able to pilot it. I think it's really good. But Eddie was able to pilot it to the top there. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything else that's too crazy. And then in first place, we have Marco Fierro, finally winning his second regional. I feel like Marco is so good, right? Like, this format, he is easily the best Reg Age player. He's absurd, right? But the thing is like he just hasn't won that regional in a long time. So it's really cool to see him finally win a regional. He's winning internets, he's top cutting worlds, but not winning regionals. Finally, he's winning regionals. And with a pretty cool team to boot, obviously, we still have that really strong core. Blood Moon Ursaluna, Dragonite, Incin, and Goldie, right? The Doug core. But now opting for Ribombee and Como, which I feel like we're just positioned so well. I think Ribombee's really cool. It was a Pokemon that I talked a little bit about. I just was like, I don't know. It's Ribombee. Like, do I want to use Ribombee? But the thing is, Tailwind's so good, and being a fairy type is so good. It's a little bit slower than Kilowattrel, who's another really potent Tailwind user, which can suck a little bit. It does suck because it's not priority Tailwind. But also being immune to Fake Out is so lit, and then having an actual fairy type on your team is just kind of rare in this format, and so being able to fire off those Moonblasts is sick. But not only that, it also has access to fake tiers here to enable Blood Moon, Golden Go, and Como. Like, all those Pokemon just do so much damage. And he's opting to run Steel, Terra, Golden Go as well to even, like, further push his damage, right? I feel like he was max special attack, max speed, timid on that Golden Go, which I think is pretty cool. I think it's definitely like a really aggressive team, but then you can slow it down with this Incineroar, with the Blood Moon, with D-Knight. Like, you have Multiscale, you have Assault Vest, you have an Incineroar, so you can slow it down if you need to, but then it also has a really strong, potent fast mode. It's got double Tailwind, no Haze on the D-Knight, which I like a lot. I think Extreme Speed is really good. Just having another move is really lit that's not a pure Dragon move. And then opting for that Assault Vest Ursaluna, obviously Life Orb was taken, but Assault Vest Ursaluna I feel like has been on a steady, like, downswing because, like, Life Orb was really popular in NA for the Milwaukee Regionals, and then we also saw a ton of this Yawn set that's just been kind of taken over. So back to the tried and true Assault Vest Ursaluna. It's still good. It's just still a bulky meatball that you just get to throw down on the field. So I think Marco's team is incredibly cool. And okay, before we go, we got to talk about this crazy set. He's got Covert Cloak, Terra Fire, Knockoff Protect, Flare Blitz, Fake Out. I literally saw it and it just completely interrupted my train of thought. That's absurd. That's nuts. I'm not sure what it's for. I'm not going to lie. I think Covert Cloak is cool. It makes sense, right? You get to run a little bit more bulk. You don't have to worry as much about faster Fake Outs, especially when you have a Ghost type and a Pokemon that's immune to Fake Out. I think it makes a lot of sense. Like, leading Incin plus Golden Go is pretty potent because you can just Fake Out the Incin and you don't have to worry about speed ties and you can maintain your bulk. I don't understand the Protect. I really don't. Protect is a good move. Maybe they're just saying, hey, Parting Shot doesn't feel necessary. We just want to keep this guy alive. And I think the Terra Fire makes some sense. It's kind of just like, we want to deal more damage, right? This team is all about dealing damage. We have Terra Fairy on Ribombee to power up the Moonblasts, Terra Steel to power up Make It Rain, even like a Flamethrower Terra Fire. This is not a set of Como at all. It's 3 attacking moves with Throat Spray. And then, yeah, like everything is like pretty aggressive. So Incin is included with that Terra Fire. A weird set, but a pretty cool team. I think this type of team, we saw inklings of Ribombee and the like Tailwind offense that it was giving, but we never saw it do super well. So it's cool to see Marco climb to the top, win a regional finally, and it's just like, no doubt, he's like the best player of Reg Age. So congrats to Marco for winning the regional. No easy feat whatsoever. It's finally his time with a pretty cool team. Obviously, there's some boring Pokemon, but I think the Como is just in such a good space. And so was this Ribombee. He just pulled out all the stops and just had a very, very potent team into the meta. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Peace.